Murder on the Orient Express is an enduring classic and one of Agatha Christie's most memorable mysteries. Featuring iconic detective Hercule Poirot, this intricate story was first published as a novel in 1934 and continues to puzzle readers around the world. As a regular visitor on the Orient Express, Agatha Christie was inspired by real-life events as she wrote the novel. In 1929, the luxury train made headlines when it was stuck in snow for 6 days. 2 years later, Christie herself was stranded on the Orient Express due to a heavy storm. Meanwhile, the Armstrong case bears a resemblance to the actual 1932 case involving famous American aviator Charles Lindbergh. Deemed the crime of the century, the tragic abduction and murder of his 20-month-old son shocked the world and partly inspired Christie's novel. Several screen adaptations have sought to capture this mystery with varying approaches, so let's delve into 3 versions of this unexpected whodunit. This is Murder on the Orient Express by the book.
Murder must then have been committed by some person or persons in the Calais coach and therefore not present in this dining car.
The 1974 film starring Albert Finney as Poirot was the first screen adaptation of the novel. With its all-star cast and meticulous production design, the film achieved popular success and garnered 6 Oscar nominations, including a win for Ingrid Bergman as supporting actress. Adapting novels for the big screen always involves a degree of reinterpretation, and the 1974 version, despite adhering most closely to the original, is no exception. The opening montage of kidnapping scenes, interspersed with newspaper clippings about the case, hint at what is to come, in contrast with the original story in which we don't learn about the Armstrong case until later in the investigation.
Space A-R-M-S
Daisy Armstrong.
The film also presents a new portrayal of Poirot. Transforming the young Albert Finney for the role required body padding, makeup, darker hair, a false nose, and of course, the mandatory mustache. Although Agatha Christie enjoyed the film, she was reportedly underwhelmed with the facial hair. Finney's version of Poirot is pleasant enough, but the character's more likable qualities are somewhat downplayed due to a slightly high-strung performance.
Why did you bring these daggers from the play?
And finally, we come to a tacked-on ending where the suspects drop their facades and interact as a family. The film director also envisioned this final toast as a curtain call for each actor. This critically acclaimed adaptation served as a tribute of sorts to old Hollywood glamour, highlighting the performances of more than a dozen actors while unraveling a complicated plot. Today, the 1974 version of Murder on the Orient Express remains one of the best-loved and more accurate adaptations of the novel.
I think that there are 2 solutions to this murder.
In 2010, David Suchet stepped into Poirot's shoes for the 64th episode of the eponymous TV series, Agatha Christie's Poirot. This production explores a darker look at the novel by choosing to highlight Poirot's emotional turmoil and exploring the issues of morality and justice. The episode includes a number of intense scenes that are not from the novels. Right from the start, we see the resolution of a case that provokes a soldier to commit suicide at close range. Pensive, condescending, and burdened by his search for truth, the portrayal of Poirot himself is also more serious and somber. Suchet's dedication to physically embodying this character, however, is evident through his careful attention to each detail. Not only does he try to look, sound, and apparently even smell the part, the actor also tries to get into the mind of Poirot. Throughout this episode, we see more time dedicated to demonstrating Poirot's thought process as he uncovers evidence.
Suitcase.
Over $200,000. Oh. I stayed in his employment because I needed money to get home.
The name Ratchet is an alias.
A few major elements are changed to add another dimension to the original mystery. For instance, Dr. Constantine, who is in the position to manipulate evidence, is ultimately revealed to be one of the killers. And lastly, the ending diverges from the novel by adding in a bit more drama and showing Poirot's struggle with his conscience.
Oh, my darling, we don't do what is wrong.
The 2010 TV adaptation features a new spin on the detective story through the addition of social commentary and complexity to the characters. It downplays the humor to focus on more gritty topics, reflecting on faith and the potential repercussions of taking justice into one's hands. Combined with the meticulous portrayal of Poirot, this episode's production values corroborate the series' success for over 20 years.
It is time to solve this case.
A new Poirot hits the silver screen in 2017 with an action-packed adaptation of Murder on the Orient Express. Director Kenneth Branagh presents his take on the classic story with a dramatic twist. Casting himself in the starring role, the director's characterization of Poirot is a notable departure from the novel. In addition to a romantic backstory, Poirot also gets a personal connection to the murder case.
Because John Armstrong told me so himself, he wrote to me to ask me for my help. By the time I received his letter, it was too late.
Unlike the character in the novels, who is proud of his crime-solving ability and legacy, Poirot in the film is world-weary and seems more concerned about getting to rest. The film does go above and beyond, however, in conveying the enormity of the famous mustache. With help from a hair designer, the show-stopping stash ended up probably even larger than Christie herself had imagined. While the film does ultimately take the story to a darker place, we get a lighter introduction this time with a playful opening scene. Changes are made to the supporting characters for a more diverse cast, resulting in commentary on racial tensions. In this version, Arbuthnot is an amalgamation of two characters from the novel, while Book becomes a younger playboy who is a sort of Watson to Poirot's Holmes.
It is the Kastner case.
Why, yes.
I was correct in certain predictions.
Quite.
I do not need to read the telegram.
Oh, how fun. Did someone cheat or die?
Unfortunately, both.
This time around, Poirot doesn't just sit back and use his little gray cells. The adaptation adds chase sequences and confrontations to an already dramatic story. Rather than calmly retiring from the case, as he does in the novel, this Poirot wrestles with his decision and presents an ultimatum to the killers. The 2017 film applies modern sensibilities to the story to identify with the contemporary audience, while, more or less, preserving the notorious conclusion. The mystery unfolds on an incredibly lush backdrop that juxtaposes the grandeur of the legendary train and its journey with the tense and claustrophobic atmosphere within. Adapting Murder on the Orient Express presents a unique challenge. Not only does it center around a well-known mystery ending, it also involves a large ensemble of characters. Dialogue and clues have to be condensed or cut to meet a film's running time, but more often to accommodate new scenes that in this case explore the idea of dealing with morally complex situations. These three adaptations each present an aspect of Poirot: his obsessive nature and sense of humor, his intelligence and self-confidence, and also his wit and vulnerability. Originally, Poirot doesn't react as strongly to the case as the film versions do. By keeping the focus on the solving of the crime, the author makes readers feel that they know Poirot well, while at the same time revealing little about the detective's personal thoughts and feelings.
I do not like your face.
Agatha Christie set new standards for the crime fiction genre. She is known for her ingenious plot twists, but she also uses her understanding of psychology to her advantage. Social and moral conventions may have changed, but human nature has not, enabling Christie's novels thus far to withstand the test of time. What are some of your favorite Agatha Christie novels? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.